Hey guys, Bo HD here from How To and More, and today I'm going to take a look at the all-new Moto X phone. This is a phone made from Motorola and Google, and it's one of the only phones I can think of that is assembled in the United States, so that's pretty cool. Now if we dive into the Moto X box and take off all that plastic, we are presented with the Moto X phone itself, sitting right on top looking nice and pretty. I can already tell that Google designed this phone as the front has no logos and is very clean to look at. But if we set that off to the side and take a look at what's underneath, we'll find a Motorola packet that contains the instructions and setup guide. Now under that we find of course the micro USB charging cable and wall adapter, which has two USB slots rather than the one slot for charging, so that's a nice little perk. And then we have the SIM card tool for connecting to your service provider. Now if we take a look back at the Moto X and remove the plastic covering, I am immediately greeted with a very clean looking phone that looks really nice. It reminds me a lot of the Nexus 4 as it has no logos and the screen takes up most of the device, which I personally like a lot. The Moto X also has a curved Kevlar back, which makes the phone easier to grip in the hands, in addition to making it fit really well in my average size hands. If you take a look at the outside of the Moto X, you'll find the power on and off buttons on the right hand side, with nothing but the SIM card slot on the left hand side. Up top lies the 3.5mm headphone jack and noise cancelling microphone, with the micro USB port at the bottom. On the front is the 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera and phone speaker, along with another microphone at the bottom. If we flip this guy over, we'll find the 10.5 megapixel camera, the flash, the loudspeaker, and of course the Motorola logo, which is actually indented into the device and adds a strange but pleasurable texture when holding the device. Now as for my overall first impressions, I was surprised to see this screen doesn't look bad at all, and quite frankly looks just as good as any other high-end phone on the market, even though it does only have a 720p display. And for having a dual-core 1.7 GHz Snapdragon S4 Pro processor inside, I was really surprised to see that this phone is super fast and responsive, especially since this is an outdated processor. I mean, applications open and close fast, and there's really no lagging or stuttering that I could see. And this is really the first device I have used where specs are kind of irrelevant to the Android experience. For example, this phone technically has a dual-core processor, which Motorola nicknames the X8 chip, because it uses software to optimize it as 8 cores, with 4 cores making up the Adreno 320 GPU, and 2 cores for the processor itself, and 2 other cores for the natural language and contextual computing processors. Now to be honest, this is kind of a gimmick to make these cores optimized by software, but to be honest, the software optimized cores for language processing is actually kind of useful, as it makes the always on Google Now functionality very fluid and responsive. I mean, without even having to touch the Moto X, you can say, "Okay Google Now, what's the weather?"
It's 74 degrees and clear in Portland.
Or, "Okay Google Now, how tall is the Empire State Building?"
Empire State Building is 1,454 feet tall.
As you can see, it works really well and is a neat little feature Motorola included with this phone. Other nice features include active notifications, which display information on your screen without having to actually press any buttons. It works by either giving your phone a little nudge if it's on a flat surface, or by simply taking it out of your pocket. This, in my opinion, is a killer feature I will make sure to cover more in my in-depth review, but I already wish every phone had the option to do this. The other interesting feature Motorola put in the Moto X was the ability to shake your phone to open up the camera app, even if it's asleep. And I gotta say, it works pretty nicely. Now with all of these added Motorola features along with the software optimization that makes this phone wicked fast, my question for you guys is, do specs really matter anymore when buying a new smartphone? The Moto X might be an exception, but I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, so definitely let me know down below in a comment, and you could be featured in my next video. And if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe either up above or down below to be notified of all my upcoming reviews, including my upcoming Moto X review. But that will about do it for this video, guys. If you haven't checked out my review of Google's Chromecast or the new Nexus 7, you should definitely do so right here, or down below in the description bar in case you're watching this on a phone or a tablet. But as always guys, I'm Bo HD from How To and More. Thanks for watching.